Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Thursday, usually at this time we talk to Lori from Bob Wine's Community Gardens, but they're very busy over there today, so she's not able to join us. But if you've not been to Bob Wine's, you're missing out. Go check out their 5.5 acres of garden supplies, plants, trees, shrubs. Just walk around, find what makes your zen, and get it from Bob Wine's. They got everything out there you could think of, from trees, bushes, flowers, plants, stuff to add to your lanai, stuff to bird baths, wind chimes. They got everything. Fertilizer, chemicals to help with rodents and bugs. They got everything at Bob Wine's. So go check them out. Bob Wine's Community Garden. Give them a call, 352-629-5766. Bob Wine's Community Gardens. There was a picture that made its rounds on Facebook yesterday. And it was of according to Matt Sams, who is the husband of Rachel Sams, it was a picture of Rachel taken when she was 19 years old. She's now 32. I don't know whether it was actually her at 19 or not, but her husband says it was. We'll take him at his word. And she's holding a sign that says, "We'll sleep for," and then she uses the word that starts with a P and means a part of a woman's anatomy, and then it says, "God bless" under it. Subsequently, Matt Sams has said that was his wife holding the sign up of a homeless man who she had just given $50 to help, and she at 19 thought it was funny to get a picture with that sign. Perfectly plausible. Unless you're running as the conservative Christian candidate. Because then why would you hold a sign up if you're a conservative Christian? You wouldn't want to be if the sign's from 19, I could understand. She found the Lord after 19, became a conservative Christian after that. If it's at 19, I don't know. Her husband says it is. We have to take him at his word. But it still can't be taken back that it says a vulgarity, a very vulgar word, and then God bless. It's just another in a myriad of situations where candidates running for office find themselves in compromising positions. Again, why I said I would never want to run for office. Now, are people making a mountain out of a molehill? I have no idea. That's up for the voter to decide. I know that there's some questions about whether Rachel Sams sued the city of Ocala or not. Again, her husband says she did not sue the city of Ocala, that she just made a complaint, an internal complaint against her boss at her job with the city of Ocala. That was all, no lawsuit. Yet the city paid her a settlement, so you don't get paid a settlement for an internal complaint, I wouldn't think. I've reached out to the city of Ocala to get some clarity on that. I've not heard back from them yet how they would pay somebody. I believe the newspaper article at the time said $75,000. That's from Ocala.com or Ocala Star Banner's news article. It says $75,000 in a settlement. I don't know how one gets a settlement without a suit. But if Matt Sams is to be believed, who, by the way, is the mouthpiece for his wife who's running for county commissioner. I don't know why she's not addressing these issues, why it's her husband that has to address these issues when she's the candidate. But if that's to be believed, if you take Matt at his word, I don't understand how you can have a lawsuit without having how you can have a settlement without having a lawsuit. Right here from Ocala.com, Ocala seeks to settle OPD discrimination for $500,000. This is September 23rd of 2019. Walsh will receive, Casey Walsh is the person Walsh will receive $155,000. Rachel Mangum will receive $75,000. City Council approves $500,000 settlement in police harassment case. The Ocala City Council, this is from September 27th of 2019 on OcalaNews.com. The Ocala City Council approved a $500,000 settlement to Three and $75,000 to Matthew Sam. It's settlement to Three. It was $75,000 to Matthew Sams, Casey Walsh, and Rachel Mangum, respectively. Matthew Sams, who was saying there was never a suit filed, he even got a settlement. Then you go to the Grand Rapids Gazette.com, and they have a story about it. $75,000 to Rachel Mangum, according to Ocala.com, the online version of Ocala News, the Ocala Star Banner. So there are three different newspaper articles in September of 2019 that said Rachel Mangum, who is now Rachel Sams, and her husband, Matthew Sams, as a matter of fact, received $75,000 settlements from the city. Again, my question is, how do you have settlements with the city if you don't have a lawsuit with the city? Look, somebody says, Tom, why are you asking these questions? It's my job to ask these questions. To give you as informed of information as you can get. I've said numerous times, Carl Zalek is running for his fourth term as county commissioner. I think he shouldn't be running because there should be term limits. So people say, well, Tom, you just want Carl Zalek to win. I don't think Carl should be running. But the law doesn't say that he can't run because there's no term limits. I don't think Kathy Bryant should be running. But the law doesn't stop her from running because there's no term limits. I don't think anybody past 8 years of service should run again. I'm very clear on that. If 8 years of 2 terms was good enough for George Washington, it's good enough for everybody at every level, from the smallest municipality up to Congress itself. But when people come out and publicly say that they didn't file a lawsuit against the city, well, how'd you get a settlement for $75,000? You and your husband, according to these news reports on these 3 separate news reports. I don't know how one gets a settlement without a lawsuit. Maybe it did happen without a lawsuit. I've reached out to the city to try to find out. I hadn't heard back yet. But I know when you tout that your only qualification, because I've listened to a couple of the forums where I've went to listen to the candidates answer questions. When I feel that the only qualification you seem to have is you're a conservative Christian, yet there are pictures on social media of you holding up signs that you will sleep for, and it's a part of a female's anatomy. And then the words God bless right underneath it with a big smile on your face like it's fun and games. And by the way, if it was done at 19 when her husband says the photo was taken and she was not a born-again Christian at that moment, okay. I get how you could say that you are now the conservative Christian and you weren't at 19. But that's not how it's being sold. It's being sold that, oh, it was a stupid mistake and she's embarrassed by it. But, you know, what do you do? It's 19. Well, if everybody wants to be woke and everybody wants to hold people accountable for what they've done all their lives, that doesn't cease to exist for Miss Sams. So more on this when I hear from the city, because she may not have filed a lawsuit against the city. I don't know how that would work, but we'll find out because I've asked the questions. Take a break. We'll be back more after this timeout. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Some would say that this country is in the toilet. Some would even go so far as to say the economy is going down the drain. But we say, if water runs through it, we do it.
At Mike Scott Plumbing, we don't make promises we can't keep. We'll be there on time, every time. We promise to work